But I do know this, that it's only 3 people that had contracts with Puff and Bad Boy.
Why? Because he's the acceptable monster at this time.
A lot of people are saying or asking, is Jay-Z next?
Kids have like an hour left. So get extra comfortable, kids, because after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay? So, you know, let's just start to get our groove on a little bit. Then an hour, we put the kids away. It's all good. All right, DJ, that's it. Let's do it.
Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit.
Hey everyone, I've got something that's got everyone in the industry buzzing. Last night, there was a private party, and some never-before-seen footage has surfaced that shows Jay-Z in a whole new light. We've heard the rumors, but this takes things to a different level. In just a moment, you'll see why security was so keen to take everyone's phones. Thankfully, one camera managed to capture it all. Pay attention to the way Beyonce reacted when Jay started getting wild. Let's dive into what really happened.
Well, I would say this. It's kind of funny to me, man, is that Diddy used to hate Jay-Z. He hated Jay-Z enough when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay-Z. This is back in the early 2000s. And one day, Asner, Kushner, Diddy, and myself went to a Nets game and we met Jay-Z. I've never been a Jay-Z fan, you know, like some of his music, the whole 9 yards. But when we went over to the, I think that was Prudential Center in Newark, and him and Puff met up, it was strange to me. Because I remember what Puff was trying to do. And then both of them, they was talking about something amongst each other, amongst all of us, and laughing and joking with each other. Then over the years, I see them giving garden parties. You understand what I'm saying? You could tell that the people in power had gave that reign to Diddy, and Jay was next in line. So to separate him, when in fact they may be two of the same, but because Jay-Z is low-key, that low-key sneaky shit, and Diddy is, and was, rambunctious, you know, just out with it, it don't mean that they not two of the same. One just a little quiet with his shit.
What happened at the basketball game? When they ran into, you guys ran into Jay-Z?
They was talking amongst each other about their little white girls. They little skinny white girls.
And I mean, did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah. He was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It's probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them.
You know how Jay-Z usually stays cool and collected in public. Well, that wasn't the case last night. The footage we got shows a completely different side of him that has everyone talking. At this exclusive party, security was on high alert, actually snatching phones from guests as they enter. People had to empty their pockets and hand over their devices. Serious stuff. The grainy video captures Jay-Z approaching the entrance, and right away, you can sense something's off. He didn't have his usual calm demeanor. He looked stressed before even stepping inside. When security asked him to hand over his phone, things took a turn. You can see him getting animated, throwing his hands up and pointing at security. This isn't the composed businessman we're used to seeing. His body language was clearly saying, "Don't mess with me tonight." He was leaning forward, tense, and you could even see a vein in his neck. The security team was backing away slowly, trying to maintain their position while keeping their distance. It was wild.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands.
Wow.
I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well.
Mr. Carter's who?
They're a nasty little couple.
Jay-Z.
They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious.
This girl's
There's
got
a
an
lot
agenda.
of things that
You can
people
tell.
don't want to talk about, Pierce.
She about to do a fake
But okay,
tear?
but hold on, but Adam, but here's the thing. And again, it always sounds crazy and wild until it ain't, because and who knows? She's not credible or lie detector test or whatever. What if she's right? What if all these things that she's seen, because she was a dominatrix. She said she used to work at these parties and tie guys up and whip them and everything like that. She was about that life. So when somebody that's about that life tells you about the life,
you giving her a lot of credibility?
I'm not. But Adam, where is she coming up with this stuff? She was at these places. She's seen it firsthand.
I'm not denying.
She was there.
Here, if I listen, you can go
play this clip.
Yeah,
Okay, play this clip, then we'll react. Go ahead, Rob.
The shocking allegations levelled at Sean Diddy Combs have burst the floodgates on salacious claims about an industry many people believe harboured a monster. Understandably, the internet's ablaze with claims about these events and whether other powerful figures were involved too. Well, last week I interviewed Jaguar Wright, a singer-songwriter who's made claims about Diddy for years. Those claims had already received a lot of attention in the media across many platforms for many years. And that's the thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview.
The wildest part. Watch how Jay keeps glancing over his shoulder like he's expecting someone to show up any second. His usual perfect posture is gone, and that quiet confidence we're used to is nowhere to be seen. Instead, he looks agitated, running his hands through his hair and checking his phone every few seconds as if waiting for urgent news. Now, we all know security at these high-profile events doesn't mess around, but something about Jay's vibe had them on edge. After about 3 minutes of back and forth, I counted, security finally backed down. But the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. They let Jay through with his phone, but it was clear this wasn't over. As he walked past, security exchanged worried glances, wondering what was going on. Jay still looked uneasy, scanning the room and checking his phone repeatedly. Whatever had him so worked up was serious, because this isn't the Jays who we know at all. But hold on. What happened next inside the party? That's when things really got messy. While Jay was dealing with security, Queen Bee was already on the dance floor. And let me tell you, she had everyone's phones out, rules or not. The way she was moving was something else. Let me show you exactly what went down next.
Can be true at once. Diddy could be an absolute dirtbag, guilty of everything, but also Jaguar Wright could be looking for her 15 minutes of fame. Prior to this week, this month, have you ever heard of this person?
I have.
So, okay, I don't know where parties you're at with that baby.
Not parties, but she's been in front of the camera for a while.
I've never heard of her.
Okay.
I've been listening to hip hop since You know, Beastie Boys did Brass Monkey in '86.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this person. She's now, if you type in Google, if you type in Jag, what's the first thing that pops up? I guarantee you it's her. Not the Jacksonville Jaguars or an actual Jaguar. She's the first thing that pops up. So she's utilizing this 15 minutes of fame, and there she is right there. Here's what I'll also say about Diddy. This was
what song she was in?
No.
Big Pimpin'. You know what other song she was in?
Big Pimpin', spending.
You know what other song?
That's Jay-Z.
Yeah. You remember the movie with Denzel, American Gangster? While that one guy comes out with the song Heart of the City.
Yeah.
You know the Heart of the City?
Yeah.
Ain't no more.
It was a remake
That's
of
her.
80s.
She's in it.
Okay.
She's in those two songs.
She's a backup singer.
She is.
She's
Backup singer for Jay-Z in 2001.
Okay, but she ain't Beyonce. She
No,
ain't
of course
Rihanna.
not.
She has been
Ain't Aaliyah.
around.
She's been
I'm
around
not
them.
denying that she's been around it. They're interviewing her for a reason. Here's what I found the most interesting about Diddy overall. This was David Muir was actually, he's the ABC guy, big news guy. He was interviewing, I guess, the guy that's handling a lot of the sexual allegations about Diddy, and he's receiving a lot of phone calls. Here's the most interesting thing about these sexual allegations. Yeah, I don't know if it was him or a different lawyer, but it was on ABC. You can check that out. He goes, talk about a gender difference. It's so interesting about Diddy. He goes, prior to 2005, it was actually 50-50, these allegations that kept coming in, men and women. 50% men, 50% women. But how about this? After 2005, it was 90% men allegations. Something happened with Diddy, allegedly, where he went, this isn't it. But it went from 50-50 allegations, receiving these phone calls, receiving what's going on, doing all these sort of testimonies, to 90% men. When there's smoke, there's fire, Diddy.
Yeah, and
what's going on in that baby
Alex
oil?
Spiro, Pat, was on TMZ, and he said to those two guys, whatever their names are, I didn't send a cease and desist. I sent an ultimatum. Remove that false accusation, or a court is going to order you to.
Who said this?
That's Alex Spiro, right? That's it right there, Pat.
Can you play this?
To you that somebody comes on a show and then kind of levels these vague-ish allegations. Were you kind of ready for something like this to eventually happen?
Listen, there's rumors and then there's nonsense, and this is one step further, right? This is a pointed and formal accusation of something. I felt it needed to be responded to. So I think somebody reported it was a cease and desist. It wasn't that. It was quite bluntly an ultimatum, which is remove that false accusation that's demonstrably false, or a court's going to order you to. And so I think he made the wise choice and acted accordingly.
He meaning Piers Morgan.
Yeah. Removing it and apologizing for it, yes. What changed here in my mind is that somebody on a so-called journalistic platform exploited that kind of random rumor mill, whether it's disconnected from reality.
The streets have been buzzing about Bianca dancing with someone at the party. But trust me, nobody's seen what I'm about to reveal. While Jay was outside dealing with security, Bianca slipped in through a private entrance, looking stunning in a silver dress that lit up the room. What's intriguing is that she came in with just her personal assistant, no Jay, no security team. The footage shows her heading straight to the VIP bar, and let me tell you, the energy she was giving off didn't feel happily married at all. Then, a tall guy in a designer suit approached her. He didn't seem like just a fan. He moved like someone who knew her well. Bianca's whole vibe shifted when he walked up. She looked nervous, playing with her hair and touching her neck. Body language experts would have a field day with this. Next thing you know, they're moving to a secluded corner of the dance floor. We all know Bianca can dance, but the way she was moving with this guy was different. This wasn't just any choreography. The way he held her waist and whispered in her ear. He's definitely not just a random party guest. You could see other VIPs in the background looking shocked, some even pulling out their phones despite the no recording rule. This is getting intense.
Why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time. Like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D. Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D. Haven.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the phone with him.
You did.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Mm. Think of the power of that moment. Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
The really suspicious part, throughout the whole interaction, Bianca kept glancing toward the entrance as if she was waiting for someone. Meanwhile, this mystery man was getting bolder by the minute, leaning in closer and running his hands through his hair. Bianca wasn't pulling back either. At one point, she had her hand on his chest, laughing at something he said. The chemistry between them definitely suggested more than just friends. Then suddenly, it got even more interesting. Someone must have signaled something because they both separated in a hurry. The mystery man vanished into the crowd just as Jay-Z finally made his way inside. When Jay found Bianca, she was back at the bar, acting like nothing happened. But if you look closely at the footage, you can see her hands shaking while she's holding her drink. And hold on, because we haven't even gotten to the wildest part of the night yet. While everyone was focused on Bianca's dance floor situation, Diddy was in the background doing something that had the whole VIP section pulling out their phones. The way he came through that door was something else. Let me show you what happened next. This is where the night really took a turn.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list. Who the fuck was these people supposed to go to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is fucking you. And the boss's boss don't get no fuck. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the fuck you go when you get f***ed over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go nowhere, which is where people like me step in. You right, I go to Diddy parties. To walk mother out Cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come.
So let me ask you, because I look at Gabriel Union, and when you mention things like Jay-Z's time is coming for him, then I look at Beyonce. And I say that, women do have
that country album, and any of you that buy that shit stupid as shit.
You don't give it no
trap music with goddamn a holster and a pad.
But she remade Jolene.
That bitch. I'm gonna tell you the song she should have remade. It's a hit. It would have done great for her. She should have tried it on. Tammy Wynette. Classic. Stand by your man. Don't act like you don't know that hell. Remake that. Stand by that. That's a real country hit. Jolene, nice. But it has a ring to it. Stand by your man. Yeah. Whoops. And disrespects you with other like Kathy Coriana White.
When that VIP door swung open, nobody was ready for what Diddy brought to the party. You think you've seen Wild Diddy before? The streets are saying this footage makes the last train to Paris party look like a church service, and I've got the proof. So, while all the drama with Jay and Bianca's mystery man was happening, Diddy rolled in with a crew nobody expected. Faces that usually don't show up at these industry parties, looking a bit suspicious in designer suits that still had the tags on. They moved through the room like they owned the place, making security really nervous. As soon as they hit the VIP section, things started to get weird. Diddy wasn't giving off his usual smooth vibe. Instead, he was pacing back and forth, checking his phone constantly and whispering in people's ears. The footage shows him sending his crew to different corners of the room, almost like they were setting up for something big. Even the regular VIP crowd started backing away, creating a bubble around them that no one wanted to step into. And that was just the beginning. Diddy soon found himself by the private booths, having intense conversations with unexpected people. Every time someone tried to record what was going on, one of his crew members would jump in front of the camera. But one phone managed to capture everything. The way he was gesturing wildly, the stressed look on his face, and a stack of papers that someone pulled out of their jacket. This was getting intense.
All right, well, let's do it like
this.
this.
Was actually carrying his baby while you was faking it. Why your husband don't want to put his seed inside of you? He put it in everybody else? Wild in this world, yo.
It's funny, you open up Beyonce's internet, it just gets weird.
Beyonce's internet.
That's what we're calling
that
it.
That belongs to the devil. Unless you calling that the devil, she ain't nothing but an employee.
Oh.
Half of which dumbass bitch.
So, it's funny that it's crazy you say these things.
Why don't nobody want to accept that bitch?
I think
she went and killed the girl Cats.
Okay.
A girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drugged. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her and shit while she was asleep. Snacking on his bitch, killing people cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her the restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too. Which is interesting because she's a brilliant musician. And she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls. Impulse control issues? I don't know.
Okay, well,
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston. Why the fuck did that house burn up? Who the fuck goes to their childhood house for a visit and the shit goes up in flames?
that was very weird. The next day, within the week?
And no, the next day.
The next day.
And still, no real investigation on how the house just went up in flames.
Man.
I guess they paid y'all off. Like they paid y'all off for that Astro World.
So let me ask you,
Texas politics.
Yeah, Texas politics, man. It's that right there. We're gonna talk about the episode, but for right now, I just got to get your take on when we see a Killer Mike win 3 Grammys.
And get arrested immediately after because Jay-Z paid somebody to him up just so he couldn't have a good night. You, Sean.
Hey, man.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that Neuralink. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate your AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle a bitch like me. You can't even control that goofy bitch. You should have did a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Kathy. Because you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her. Wonder why?
The other guests were absolutely shook. You could see industry executives in the background looking really uncomfortable, whispering to each other. Some even started leaving the VIP section. When the bottle service girl stopped coming around, you know something serious was going down. Then came the moment that had everyone's jaw on the floor. Diddy suddenly got loud, like someone had told him something he didn't want to hear. He stood up, throwing ice from his drink and pointing fingers at someone off camera. His crew closed in, and that's when the party staff finally had to step in. You'd see 3 managers and the head of security trying to calm things down, but Diddy wasn't having it. Just when it looked like things were about to explode, Jay-Z walked back in, and guessed what he finds Bianca talking to in the corner. None other than Diddy himself, looking completely calm as if he hadn't just been causing chaos moments before. The energy in that room shifted instantly. You could feel the tension through the screen. The footage shows Jay stopping dead in his tracks, and the look on his face was priceless. I've been covering celebrity parties for years, but what happened next? That's the kind of moment that can make or break careers. The way these 3 looked at each other, the whispers, the body language. It's all on camera, and it's about to change everything you thought you knew about these industry relationships.
Yeah, but I have been hearing that a lot. I feel like your girl Jaguar Wright might have been one of the first to really put his name out there. I don't know enough. You know, I will say that Jay-Z, if he was doing ill shit like that, he was more quiet about it. You know what I mean? He was more, but then if we be real with ourselves, it was kind of abnormal when he got with Beyonce. Like, she was pretty young when he got with her. There's rumors that he was messing with Foxy Brown when she was pretty young. So there's a lot of those rumors around. You know what I mean? Yeah. And do you hear little things here and there? You know, I'm not gonna lie. When certain people get to a certain level of fame, I don't know why, but you start to hear little about certain people sometimes. And I don't know how many people are really exempt from it. Because if you really think about most of your top celebrities, black celebrities, rappers, I feel like the ones that are at the top for a long time, I feel like I've heard a rumor damn near about all of them. Not that I've seen anything, but it's always these top motherfuckers. Now, some people will say, oh, well, that's just a hating. It could be. Or it could be that motherfuckers got to join a club in order to get to a certain level. I don't know. I'm not in the club, so I wouldn't know. But it's just a little weird that everybody that goes past a certain point, you'll hear a little. And these be behind the scenes rumors too. This is not just internet shit. This be before the internet existed. You understand? Because it's easy for some shit to fly around now with the internet. But a lot of this shit was pre-internet. And that and it was getting around. You see? So makes it a little different. It still could be some bullshit, but I'm just saying. Some of these rumors been around about people for a long time. You've been hearing little things about them. And have I heard little shit about Jay-Z? Yup. Do I think that he's trying to emulate himself and present himself as a gay painter, like to look like Basquiat? Yup, I do. I think 50 Cent was right about that. I think that's a code to, especially the white people, that he's approachable, he's cultured, but Basquiat was also bisexual. So is that a code that you're trying to tell these white people too by trying to emulate this guy? I don't know, but it doesn't look good.
The streets have been buzzing about a rift between these three for years, but now we finally have proof. What these cameras captured has left people who were there that night too scared to talk about it. And once you see it, you'll understand the tension between hip-hop's biggest power couple and the man they used to call a friend. Check out Jay's face when he spots them in that corner, Beyonce leaning in close while Diddy whispers something in her ear. The footage shows Jay frozen mid-step, his whole body going rigid. Remember how stressed he was from that security situation? That energy just doubled. You can see him taking slow, calculated steps toward them, trying to keep his cool but clearly ready to snap at any moment. The crazy part is how Beyonce and Diddy react when they see him coming. Diddy straightens up quickly, putting on a fake smile and stepping back from Beyonce. Meanwhile, her relaxed vibe from earlier is gone. She's suddenly tense and fidgeting with her rings, a telltale sign for anyone who follows her that she's uncomfortable. The camera captures this triangle of tension perfectly. Jay stands there with his hands in his pockets, but you can see his fists clenched through the fabric. Beyonce suddenly becomes very interested in her phone, and Diddy is trying to play it cool while avoiding eye contact with Jay. The VIP section goes quiet fast, with people in the background slowly backing away, sensing something's about to blow. Then Diddy tries to break the ice, stepping forward with his arms out like he's going for a hug. But Jay isn't having it. The way he shifts his body to angle himself between Beyonce and Diddy, that's pure alpha energy. The whispers that follow are captured in bits and pieces, but it's clear this isn't a friendly chat. You can see Jay's mouth moving, speaking low and intense, while Diddy's friendly facade starts to crumble. This is the moment everyone was waiting for.
Why do people have such an affinity for Basquiat anyway? I think it's trash. Let me just put it out there. I don't think that Basquiat's art is fucking all brilliant the way they claim it is. It looks like bullshit to me. It's some shit that white people would like. It's not some shit that black people look at and be like, oh my God, that is so impressive. He ran with weirdos like Andy Warhol and Keith Haring. They tried to call Keith Haring graffiti back in the days. I hated Keith Haring's art. It was crap. That was not graffiti. That was a white dude from the village who was inspired by graffiti, who started doing some shit. And because he's white, now he can go to galleries and sell this shit for fucking $50,000. And then you got real blacks and yes, Puerto Ricans, you know, and even some poor white people that were doing graffiti uptown on the trains and shit like that, and they couldn't get no money for this shit. you know, and their shit was way more technical, and you know what I mean, and makes you feel something, and really aligned itself with hip hop. But all of that shit, Keith Haring, Basquiat, and Andy Warhol with soup cans, get the fuck out of here. That was some shit where they gamed the people into believing that some bullshit was something special. And Jay-Z was one of the first ones, I think, to really talk about Basquiat. And it's like, why? And you make a song about Tom Ford. That's another homosexual designer. What is this all about? Like, I don't know when heterosexuals started bigging up homosexuals, starting trying to dress like them, do their hair like them, and making songs about them. I'm just saying, you know. And Jay-Z, I like Jay-Z. I think he's a dope rapper, dope businessman. He used to be my neighbor. We lived in the same building, 560 State Street. But that being said, I'm just telling you what I know and what I've observed.
What happens next is wild. Bianca suddenly grabs her purse and starts to walk away, but not before giving both men a look that could freeze hell over. Jay turns to follow her, but that's when Diddy reaches out and grabs his arm. Security teams from both sides rush in so fast that the cameras shake, but you can still see Jay pulling away and pointing in Diddy's face one last time before following Bianca. The party ends right there. Lights come on, music cuts off, and security starts pushing people toward the exits. But check this out. As Jay and Bianca leave through one door, you can see Diddy on his phone, looking stressed while his crew huddles around him. And that mystery man from earlier? He's in the background, watching everything before slipping out a back exit. The way everyone cleared out of that club was intense. It felt like someone called in a bomb threat. But what really has people talking isn't just what went down. It's what was said in those whispers. No one involved has posted on social media since that night. Something big was exposed. And these grainy videos might just be the tip of the iceberg.
I mean, but if we were Jay, would we like want to be associated publicly with that? Like, would we try to keep ourselves distant? Because a lot of celebrities are doing that right now.
You know, man, I don't care about what the accusations are because they're just allegations, right?
If they're not true.
They're just allegations,
Right.
right? And how many times growing up in the hood, we went to court for a man that may have killed somebody or may have got arrested.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It don't matter, you know, the crime, Diddy's crimes doesn't warrant for nobody to support him, right? If anything, he would need help, right? If he got a addiction problem, whether it's drugs, whether it's sex, whatever, but for all these people to been around him all these years, even after the Cassie video, because remember the Cassie video is 8 years old.
Right.
Right? Cassie stayed with Diddy 2 years after that video. Everybody continued to party with Diddy up until last year when I was at Revolt World. Diddy was the man with the #1 album in the country.
Right. He just got an award from BET.
Yeah, he got a Lifetime Achievement. Y'all all support him. Jay was at the Grammys with him when he made that speech, right?
Right.
Now he get in trouble. Where the hell is everybody at?
I'm just saying though, if I want to protect my brand, I'm thinking about the business of it.
We cannot erase the images of Jay being with Diddy, like right there at the top of the mountain. They was together.
If Jay set him up allegedly, what would be the benefit for Jay in your mind?
I don't believe Jay set him up. I'm not saying that, right? Set him up how? You know what I mean? I believe that he's not supporting him, right?
So you're more so talking about the current kind of snake-ish.
Yeah, now don't get me wrong. Jay is not on the up and up. Desiree Perez being down with him, it shows he's not on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe Jay-Z is a 137 source, in my opinion.
What is that for people that don't know what that is?
A person that works for the federal government that they will never disclose is working for the federal government. not even to another federal agent that's on another case, or even a judge.
So it's like a top-notch informant.
Yeah. Where they don't have to testify in court against you.
Got you, like he's got immunity maybe.
Oh, damn.
What we just watched isn't just typical party drama. This footage is going to spark conversations for months. The way Jay-Z lost his cool with security, Bianca dancing with that mystery man, and Diddy's suspicious behavior all point to something much bigger happening behind the scenes. There are whispers that more footage from that night is out there, yet to be seen. Sources close to all three camps have been unusually quiet since this leak, and you know what they say. Silence speaks louder than words. Some industry insiders even suggest this could signal the end of decades-long friendships. Trust me, this story isn't over. There are layers to this situation that will unfold one by one. The way things ended between these three. We might have just witnessed the start of something significant in hip-hop history. The real question is, whose side are you on?